Hey all, welcome to Learn About It, where we nerd out to history and science. There are a few questions that I want to address in this week's Learn About It. What is nationalism, and by extension Christian nationalism? What is the percentage of Americans that identify as Christians? What are God-given rights by the order of the Constitution? First, some quick definitions. According to Webster's Dictionary, nationalism is loyalty and devotion to a nation, especially a sense of national consciousness, exalting one nation above all others, and placing primary emphasis on promotion of its culture and interests as opposed to those of other nations. Christianity Today says this of Christian nationalism. Christian nationalism is the belief that the American nation is defined by Christianity, and that the government should take active steps to keep it that way. Popularly, Christian nationalists assert that America is and must remain a Christian nation, not merely as an observation about the American history, but as a prescriptive program for what America must continue to be in the future. Scholars like Samuel Huntington have made a similar argument, that America is defined by its Anglo-Protestant past, and that we will lose our identity and our freedom if we do not preserve our cultural inheritance. Similarly, the group Christians Against Nationalism says, Christian nationalism seeks to merge Christian and American identities, distorting both the Christian faith and America's constitutional democracy. Christian nationalism demands that Christianity be privileged by the state and implies that to be a good American, one must be a Christian. It often overlaps with and provides cover for white supremacy and racial subjugation. We reject this damaging political ideology and invite our Christian brothers and sisters to join us in opposing this threat to our faith and to our nation. Here as Americans are our God-given rights granted by the government. That sentence alone should instantly flash all sorts of red flags for you. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, that to secure these rights, governments are instituted among men, deriving their just power from the consent of the governed. And fundamentally, those don't seem bad. We all have the right to life, we all have the right to liberty, and we all have the right to the pursuit of happiness. Somewhat ironically, the same section of the church that will tell you that these are our God-given and not man-given rights will also tell you that God doesn't guarantee that you are happy. And honestly, they aren't wrong. That should be your first sign, though, that these rights are not God-given. It should also be noted that originally, the pursuit of happiness was actually property. So even the Founding Fathers struggled a little with what these rights are. Some will argue that the amendments fall under the same God-given rights, others will argue that they are not. I think just by the fact that they can change, they can't be God-given rights. But just like the 3 points above, we have to ask ourselves if these amendments, more importantly the Bill of Rights, align with the Bible or align even within our first 3 topics above mentioned. According to an average of all 2021 Gallup polling, about 3 in 4 Americans said that they identify with a specific religious faith. By far the largest portion, 69%, identify with a Christian religion, including 35% who are Protestant, 22% Catholic, and 12% who identify with another Christian religion or simply as Christian. 49% of Americans say religion is very important to their life, with another 27% saying it's fairly important and 25% saying it's not very important. When describing their behavior more generally, 22% of Americans report they attend religious services every week, with another 9% saying they do so almost every week, and 11% saying they attend about once a month. That leaves the majority saying they seldom, 25%, or never, 31%, attend religious services. Pew Research has it a little bleaker at 63% of Americans identifying as Christian. All of these numbers are down from even just a decade ago. I'm going to read you the Bill of Rights, just in case you need a brush up. And you can think about each one and how that aligns with what we know of the Bible and Jesus. Here are the Bill of Rights. Amendment 1. Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof, or abridging the freedom of speech, or of the press, or the right of the people peaceably to assemble and to petition the government for a redress of grievances. Amendment 2. A well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the rights of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. Amendment 3. No soldier shall, in time of peace, be quartered in any house without the consent of the owner, nor in time of war, but in a manner to be prescribed by law. Amendment 4. The right of the people to be secure in their persons, houses, papers, and effects against unreasonable search and seizures,
shall not be violated, and no warrants shall issue, but upon probable cause, supported by the oath or affirmation, and particularly describing the place to be searched and the persons or things to be seized. Amendment 5. No person shall be held to answer for a capital or otherwise infamous crime unless on a presentment of the indictment of a grand jury, except in cases arising in the land or naval forces or in the militia, when in actual service in time of war or public danger. Nor shall any person be subject for the same offense to be twice put in jeopardy of life or limb, nor shall be compelled in any criminal case to be a witness against himself, nor be deprived of life, liberty, or property without due process of law, nor shall private property be taken for public use without just compensation. Amendment 6. In all criminal prosecutions, the accused shall enjoy the right to a speedy and public trial by an impartial jury of the state and district wherein the crime shall have been committed, which district shall have been previously ascertained by law, and to be informed of the nature and cause of the accusation, to be confronted with the witness against him, to have compulsory process for obtaining witnesses in his favor, and to have the assistance of counsel for his defense. Amendment 7. In suits at common law, where the value in controversy shall exceed $20, the right of trial by jury shall be preserved, and no fact tried by a jury shall be otherwise re-examined in any court of the United States than according to the rules of the common law. Amendment 8. Excessive bail shall not be required, nor excessive fines imposed, nor cruel and unusual punishment inflicted. Amendment 9. The enumeration in the Constitution of certain rights shall not be construed to deny or disparage others retained by the people. Amendment 10. Powers not delegated to the United States by the Constitution, nor prohibited by it to the states, are reserved to the states respectively, or to the people. I also think it's important to review some quotes from the Founding Fathers. James Madison said, "And I have no doubt that every new example will succeed, as every past one has done, in showing that religion and government will both exist in greater purity the less they are mixed together. Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion, prohibiting the free exercise thereof. Who does not see that the same authority which can establish Christianity and exclusion of all other religions may establish with the same ease any particular sect of Christianity and exclusion of all other sects? Strongly guarded as is the separation between religion and government in the Constitution of the United States, the danger of encroachment by ecclesiastical bodies may be illustrated by precedents already furnished in their short history. The purpose of separation of church and state is to keep forever from these shores the ceaseless strife that has soaked the soil of Europe with blood for centuries." Thomas Jefferson said, "In every country and in every age, the priest has been hostile to liberty. He is always in alliance with the despot, abetting his abuse in return for protection of his own." History, I believe, furnishes no example of a priest-ridden people maintaining a free civil government. This marks the lowest grade of ignorance of which their civil as well as religious leaders will always avail themselves for their own purposes. The legitimate powers of government extend to such acts only as are injurious to others. But it does me no injury for my neighbor to say that there are 20 gods or no God. It neither picks my pocket nor breaks my leg. George Washington said, "The United States of America should have a foundation free from the influence of clergy. We have abundant reason to rejoice that in this land the light of truth and reason has triumphed over the power of bigotry and superstition, and that every person may here worship God according to the dictates of his own heart. In this enlightened age and in this land of equal liberty, it is our boast that a man's religious tenets will not forfeit the protection of the laws, nor deprive him of the right of obtaining and holding the highest offices that are known in the United States. I beg you, be persuaded that no one would be more zealous than myself to establish effectual barriers against the horrors of spiritual tyranny and every species of religious persecution." John Adams said, "As the government of the United States of America is not in any sense founded on the Christian religion, as it has in itself no character of enmity against the laws, religion, or tranquility of Mussulmen, and as the said states never have entered into any war or any act of hostility against any Mohammedan nation, it is declared by the parties that no pretext arising from religious opinions shall ever produce an interpretation of the harmony existing between these two countries. And Benjamin Franklin said, "I wish it, Christianity, were more productive of good works. I mean really good works. Not holy day keeping, sermon hearing, or making long prayers filled with flatteries and compliments despised by wise men, and much less capable of pleasing the deity." There will always be so much more to say on each topic, but I am trying to keep each video somewhat brief. I do encourage you to do your own research. I hope the Learn About It section will challenge us to really think about what we know to be true of God and His character and how that aligns with how we are stewards of this world He has given us. Thank you so much for being with us today. Please join us tomorrow for our Talk About It session, and next week for our sessions on gun control. Peace be with you and those you love. Signing out, 908 Ministries.